morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Thursday the 10th of December. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlesticks. Bearish start to the morning here. Going to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 18,310 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 18,878. Support from the broader market is going to be needed for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high that was 18,630. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 19,000 to cap any upside. In event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level at 19,198 and resistance at 19,500 to limit any upside on the day. A fall through the pivot, bring the first major support level sitting at 17,990 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay well clear of the second major support level sitting at 17,422. Looking at the MACD, got a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing suggestive of a bearish day ahead, so we need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 flatten against the 100 and the 200 as well, suggestive of a possible move northwards. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid a fall through the pivot and break back through to 18,800 levels to then target 19,000. Failure to do that and you got support levels in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 560.79 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 591.26. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 590s, however. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, expect Ethereum to test resistance at 610 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 609.14. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 542.91 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Ethereum continue to avoid sub 520. Second major support level sits at 512.44. Looking at the MACD, got a slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, suggestive of some downside ahead, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 hold its ground against the 100 and the 200, so nothing conclusive there as yet. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot level at 560.79 and break out from 580s and back through to 590 to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that and support levels are in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 75.95 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 79.74. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high 78.24. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 80 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, got the second major resistance level at 82.04. and resistance at 85 to cap any upside on the day. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 73.65 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay well clear of the second major support level sitting at 69.86. The 38.2% fib at 71 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, it's got a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram, but nothing conclusive or suggestive of a bearish day ahead. So keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we're also seeing the 50 flatten against the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a possible move. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot at 75.95, break back through yesterday's high to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that and you've got support levels in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, particularly bearish start here. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.5637. Take a run at the first major resistance level at 0.6247. We need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.62 levels. So barring a broad-based crypto rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level and the 23.6% fib at 0.6274 to cap any upside. In event of a breakout, got resistance at 0.65 to limit any upside on the day. Second major resistance level is at 0.6662. Fall through the pivot will bring the 38.2% fib at 0.5285 and the first major support level at 0.5222 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.5 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.4613. Looking at the MACD, got a slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish day ahead. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 flatten on the 100 and the 200 as well. So there's nothing conclusive there or suggestive of further downside. So key through the early part of the day would be to avoid the pivot level and back through to 0.6 levels to then bring resistance levels into play.